What is up, guys? Welcome back. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Little Cup. Before I get started, I haven't been posting because I've been really pushing hard to get to rank 10, and so you haven't seen me uploading. I've been really kind of spending a lot of time studying my matches, and man, my biggest mistake of season 4 was not doing Master League Premier during GoBattleLog night, because I have a really good team that I'm very comfortable with, and I did all my battles in GoBattleLog night in Great League, and I broke even, so I didn't make any progress. The last 2 days I went to Master League Premier and I gained over 100 points both days, and I have a shot to hitting rank 10 now, but I have to basically get like 2 5-0s and then like 3 4-1s, so I don't know if it's gonna be possible. I might give it a shot, but anyways, yeah, that's kind of why I haven't been uploading. I've been really trying to get to rank 10 and just been putting a lot of time into GoBattleLog. Just actually battling. But in today's video we're going to be talking about the Little Cup. I'm going to talk about how much it might cost you to build a team for Little Cup. We're going to talk about the cost. We're going to talk about the elephant in the room, Bronzor, and how broken it is in the cup. And then we're going to talk about just like some top 10 Pokemon you can have in their stat products. I'm going to show you why Bronzor is so broken. And then finally I'm going to show you some teams. And I know that the title of this video is Top 5 Teams, but I'm actually going to show you more than 5, so don't worry if you're thinking, oh man, he's going to show me 5 teams, I might not have any of those teams. I'm going to show you more than that, so you'll have a lot of options, and yeah, we'll just jump right into it. So let's just look at how much it's going to cost you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my Pokemon that I have, and what I did was I'm going to type in Little here. I kind of labeled mine Little, and then I put the cost that it's going to cost me to max out and second move the Pokemon. Now here's the huge thing. If you are someone who's, let's say you're not that great at PvP, but you still want to participate in this, if you have a lot of Stardust, I'm talking like if you have at least a couple million or 3 million Stardust and you don't mind dropping a good handful of Stardust, I think you can dominate this cup and do very well, because a lot of people just are not going to spend the Stardust. Let's just be honest, I'm not going to spend that much. I'm going to try to spend as little as possible. I might not even second move any of my Pokemon. I don't know. Some of the ones you see on my list that are 10k, I might double move those. But these other ones, I just don't think so. For example, look at Bronzor, the most popular Pokemon. This is a non-lucky Bronzor. It's only 70 away from 500, but it's going to cost 163,000, 113 to max, and then of course the 50,000 for the extra Stardust. So what I did was I lucky traded. Let me scroll down here. I lucky traded with someone to get a lucky one, because I don't care about IVs. I don't think anyone's going to care about IVs for this cup. It's just the cheapest possible is what people are going to go for. So I did a lucky trade, so that cut that cost down to 90,000. I also did a why not, because I don't have my other why not here, but the why not that I have, actually I think I do have it right here. So you can see my why nots here. I have, some hatched ones. I think this was a hatched one, but it's going to cost so much Stardust to power up. Look at how much craziness this is. 215,000. So what I did was I lucky traded one, and now it's only going to cost 84,500 to max, which is still a lot of Stardust, but at least, getting those lucky trades is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. If you find a Pokemon that you want, see if you can lucky trade with someone if you have a lucky friend available. It's going to be huge for cutting down on your cost. Okay, so let's just move on to the next topic and talk about Bronzor. I'm going to post an image here from Go Stadium, so shout out to Go Stadium, Tangent 444, Nisa Beethan, and Polymers Cup. They put this whole infographic together, so shout out to them, and they have some of their information there on the image. But look at Bronzor right in the middle. This meta is Bronzor. So like Bronzor is like the Azumarill of the Little Cup. If Azumarill was had an attack stat of Haunter or Shadow Sharpedo. Okay, so imagine an Azumarill with that high of an attack and the bulk. It's just crazy. That's how dominant Bronzor is. Not that Bronzor has a high attack, but you're gonna see the stat product. It's just so freaking bulky. So it wins a lot of these matchups that it normally should lose. Yeah, it beats a lot of these Pokemon that it should normally lose to, like Vulpix, a fire type, super effective against steel, but it can still beat Vulpix. Same with Litwick, and then these dark and ghost types that it should lose to, these ground types that it should be losing to, Wooper, Barboach, Golett, it still beats those. And so basically Bronzor is like, you need Bronzor. If you want to win a lot of matches, you're gonna need Bronzor. If you don't have one, you're gonna need a really good counter team to that. And the images, the Pokemon over here on the right, these can beat Bronzor in the one shield, maybe even I don't know about a shield deficit. I haven't checked all of the PV Poke. It took me hours just to come up with the information I'm talking about. But yeah, these are good ones to have. Dino's a really good one. You know, Alolan Diglett. Shadow Stunky is a really good one. Volibee, again, you need to trade with someone that has a low-level account, so that's going to be a very, very, very hard one to get. But if you can get one, I think you could dominate this cup. It's one of those things where, you know, you need like one Pokemon is like a secret weapon. I think Volibee and Munchlax will be secret weapons because it's really, really hard to get. You need to trade someone with a low account. And so, yeah, let's just move on. And let's look at the top 10 Pokemon from PV Poke. All right, so we're on PV Poke right now, and we're going to go to the rankings, and you probably already looked this up, so I'm just going to do it really fast. Going to the Little League, going to Little Cup, and we're going to look at the top Pokemon here. Obviously, Bronzor. Look at the scores, 100 across the board except for consistency, but that's just insane that it has that high of a rating. Why Not comes second, and you can see much lower score. So Bronzor is hugely ahead of all the other Pokemon below it. And yeah, so you got Why Not, Cottony, Dino, Shelmet, Wooper, Stunky, Lickitung, Barboach, Igglybuff. Those are the top 10. Volibee is number 12, but again, really, really hard to get. And I think I might have passed. No, here's Munchlax at number 25. Bulldoze is a very solid move to have against, and Lick also against a Bronzor. But again, most people won't have that. But anyways, so yeah, you can see that. And now what I want to do is show you guys the stat products of these Pokemon, just to show you how broken it is. So just for an example, let's go to battle, and I'm gonna type in Bronzor here on the right, or on the left, I'm sorry. Now look at that stat product, 637. This is just for a default one, which is what I'm gonna go with for the default IVs. And one of the other Pokemon in the top, you know, the top 10, Dino, look at how much lower the stat product is, 355 compared to 637. It's just crazy how much more bulky Bronzor is, which is why it beats almost every Pokemon in the meta. It's just insane. Let's look at another one, another good one, Cottony, 450, still very low compared to Bronzor. Bronzor just has an insanely high defense stat, an insanely high stamina stat. Its attack is low, but it has two other categories that is just insanely broken. It's just crazy. So let's look at some other ones like Wooper. You can see Wooper doesn't even come close. Let's see, Igglybuff. Igglybuff doesn't even come close. I mean, Ducklet. None of these come close in terms of the stat product. So Bronzor is totally broken. And yeah, I mean, Volibee maybe would come close. Nope, 427. None of them come close. So you can see Bronzor is just way too strong, and you need a Bronzor on your team, I think, to do any decent in this cup. So try your best to get one. Lucky trade preferred because it would save you dust, or just regular trade, and then if you have dust, just max it out. Okay, now let's talk about the GoBattleLog data, and let's just talk about some teams that you can build. Okay, so looking at GoBattleLog, again, if you're not familiar with the site, it's GoBattleLog.com, and Aaron and I have partnered up, so my patrons can get access to the full website, which has a team generator, which we're going to look at. But this part of it is free, where you can just enter in, up here, you can enter in your team and enter in all the battles, and then put an L at the end or W, whether you win or lost, and it keeps track of all your data. And this is the data so far from what people have done in practice battles. So you can see here, Bronzor was used 59 times out of the last 120 battles, and it is the most popular lead. If you go down here at the bottom left, Bronzor has 17 times in the lead. Bronzor is the most popular in the second, and it's the most popular in the third. And so I'm going to hit generate counters. Now this is the paid version, but it can generate it like some, just based on the data, Pokemon to use to kind of beat the meta. Now look at this. Anti-lead, Bronzor is the top suggested anti-lead. It's the top suggested anti-second Pokemon, and it's the top suggested third because it's just so strong. Now obviously you can't have a triple Bronzor team, so you go down to the suggested teams and it gives you actual suggested teams. You can see here Bronzor is all over the place. If you want to lead Bronzor, it has a good team for you is Bronzor, Ducklet, and Cottony. Now, if you're using Bronzor as a safe switch, it gives you a bunch of different team options. You could have Dino in the lead, and then Venonat as your third Pokemon. You can have Volibee. This one probably we can ignore because most people aren't going to get it. But Shadow Carvanha is super, super powerful again. I mean, it's the baby of Shadow Sharpedo, so we all know how strong it is. But with Bite, it just melts Pokemon, and including Bronzor, it does very, very well against Bronzor. But it's very glassy again, so it loses to a lot of other Pokemon. Igglybuff, Bronzor, Skorupi is another one. And then Stunky, Bronzor, Cottony. So you can see all these teams would be very good teams to try out. So if you want to just pause the video here, I'll scroll down if you want to see more. So again, I said top 5 in the title, but I mean, these are the top 5 teams that they suggest. But all of these teams should be pretty decent, especially if you learn how to use it. Now, let's just say you don't have Bronzor. So I'm gonna type in Bronzor, and let's say we don't have Volibee. I'm gonna exclude those two, and let's see what teams they suggest just based off of that. So there's a much smaller list because Bronzor's not there, but these are some teams you could try if you don't have them. Now you'll notice a lot of these teams, they have a counter, at least one counter to Bronzor, but I would personally suggest having 2 counters if you don't have one, because Shelmet does lose to Bronzor in the one shield, so does Cottony, because Bronzor resists the Charm and the Razor Leaf, so it doesn't matter which moveset you're using, it resists its moves. And so I would maybe try building a team that has 2 counters to Bronzor, and then maybe like 2 softer counters that like maybe can't beat them heads up, but together can beat them, like 2 Pokemon that together can beat them, Bronzor pretty easily. But these are some teams that they would suggest. So I definitely think Shadow Stunky is a very, very good pick. Of course, Cottony is on a lot of these teams. I highly suggest Cottony as well. And so these are some teams you can look at if you don't have Bronzor. And hopefully this won't apply to many of you, because hopefully most of you have a Bronzor by now, or at least have saved one ever since you heard about the little cup. But yeah, so just in case you don't have one, you could try putting like a Shadow Stunky together with a Dino. I think putting these two together would be good as a team because you have 2 counters to Bronzor. But then having something like Igglybuff and Lickitung, those are pretty, I imagine those would be pretty bulky. And so those would also be some good ones. So you can kind of play around with these, but these are the suggested teams. So you want to run them exactly how GoBattleLog suggests you can run them, then I would suggest do that first. But then if you're finding that you're losing a lot, just maybe make some adjustments, see what Pokemon you can use. And actually, finally, I'm going to talk about some more Pokemon that counter Bronzor, just in case you want to know. So I'm going to put them on the screen here for you. We have Shadow Stunky, Houndour, Alolan Diglett, Purloin, Poochyena. Poochyena doesn't do that well against it, but it can beat it heads up. Murkrow, you can just go straight Drill Peck and beat Bronzor. Dino's a good one because it's more generalist, but it doesn't do great against Bronzor, but it still wins, just not by a whole lot. And then Alolan Meowth. Cubone can barely beat it. Drifloon can beat it, but you do need to land a Shadow Ball, and you need to try to bait with Body Slam. I believe that's what it has. I can't remember, but you need to bait and then land a Shadow Ball. You might still even lose there. Just because Bronzor is so broken. But these are some Pokemon that you can have as kind of counters and soft counters to Bronzor. So hopefully this helped. You're just gonna need to start doing some practice battles and then just give it a shot tomorrow and see how it goes. Hopefully you guys have Bronzor, but if not, try the teams that I suggested here from GoBattleLog. I think they would help you a lot. And let me know how it goes. And so thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And comment below what you think about the little cup. Are you going to participate in it? I do kind of want to talk to you guys. Are you going to participate in it? Are you going to invest dust in it? Are you going to spend money on dust on a second move? Let me know what you guys are doing, because I kind of am very interested in that. So thanks again so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.